Today in the crypto space, we see a bit of green and red price action throughout the market. Bitcoin at 42,000 and Ethereum still hovering around that $2,200 mark. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, again, are mixed of green and red. Of course, we have some good gainers. Look at HNT. We have BNB making a bit of a comeback. However, we have few dips. Look at Rune and ICP. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin, one project that has been retracing, and maybe it's a good buy the dip opportunity, and that is Neoxa. So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on those socials, but better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord's where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. All right, guys, let's take a look at this market. We are currently seeing a market where we're seeing a bit of sideways, a bit of price action going sideways. However, some good gainers. Look at BNB finally coming to the upside, up approximately 6% today, which is looking pretty good given the fact that we're seeing a lot of other centralized exchanges run up in the last little while. We had KuCoin and we had BitGet doing pretty good, so that's pretty awesome overall. And we see other altcoins pretty much going sideways, like Solana reaching that previous high, going sideways. We have AVAX, still kind of within range, doing pretty good. Dogecoin coming down to slightly lower levels, but still within structure. And you can see that the actual pattern is pretty much the same throughout the market. Sideways, sideways, sideways. And that for me is an opportunity to be very critical and very picky as to which entries or which projects you plan on entering on, right? ICP may be looking for a bull flag right here, down 6%. However, the structure is still intact, holding support, and we can potentially put a stop loss underneath that slight consolidation for a continuation to the upside. So looking pretty good there for ICP. And as we continue going down the market, we see Injective maybe getting a bit of hang time here, but ultimately Injective was one of the major gainers in this run to the upside. So pretty good stuff overall. Pullback on Monero, little pullbacks throughout the market, but nothing really that concerning. Near Protocol still within range, but up approximately 8.5%, which is pretty good. VeChain got a bit of a pop to the upside. A lot of sideways, and Stacks still benefiting off the Bitcoin run, but still, guys, getting pullbacks throughout the market is absolutely expected, and STX is potentially looking for a bit of a retracement in the short term. Render coming down a little bit, but still within range, and as you can see, the market, as we continue scrolling down, is pretty much the same except HNT right now. This project is up 83% in the last 7 days, and just about in the last 24 hours, pretty much 16% to the upside. So looking for a breakout to the upside. Really bullish for this project price action wise. Bonk getting a bit of a retracement, guys. Be careful with that one. Is already run up significantly. I'll be looking for entries on other meme coins, if anything, looking for better opportunities with risk to reward in our favor. What else do we have here? BitGet token, as I mentioned earlier, these centralized exchange tokens are running. Given the fact that we could be seeing a bit of liquidity enter these exchanges, is just an indication that maybe we're having a bit of a spike in retail investment. So this is pretty good as an indication. So far, we see Binance looking good, and BitGet and KuCoin had its turn already, and we're getting a bit of a retracement. But KuCoin was running up in last week, so looking pretty good. Beam is in a bit of a retracement as well, but still going sideways. And you can see SEI getting a pop to the upside, up 30%. We have Woo still looking pretty good, up 10%. So pretty good gainers right here. SEI definitely now at about $800 million market cap. Makes it a bit on the mature side for my liking. If you weren't able to get at the bottom, you got to be very careful here. Sui waking up a little bit, breaking out of structure, and the list goes on pretty much sideways. Blur waking up just a bit as well, 22% to the upside. Our NFT is going to make a comeback, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you think about NFTs. I don't know, NFTs, technically speaking, in my opinion, came back with a bit of a different value proposition. We're seeing new applications of NFT technology. You know, the ability to tokenize assets in different ways is definitely up and coming. So I want to see what the new wave of NFTs are, because definitely it is an interesting application of that technology. So I'm curious as to see what's going forward for the NFT game. Guys, right now, you know that NFTs are at the bottom of the range. So maybe Blur is as a platform could be an indication that NFTs might be making a comeback. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts. You know what? Let's begin by looking at Bitcoin. Obviously, today's video is on Neoxa. NEOX is the ticker, but let's begin by looking at Bitcoin. Let's make this nice and big to kind of see what's going on. And guess what? Bitcoin is doing nothing as expected. As I mentioned, the sideways consolidation continues. Guys, I expected this to happen. I want this to happen, and especially with the fact that I'm heavily invested in altcoins in the current moment. For me, I would like to see Bitcoin go sideways so that I can see altcoins totally take advantage of the stale price action Bitcoin is offering, because ultimately traders are going to be looking for volatility, and when Bitcoin is not giving it to us, we start looking for it in the altcoin market. So right now Bitcoin kind of still going sideways, nothing really that interesting. Above this level, this diagonal previous resistance is pretty good. It could act as short-term support. It could get a bit of a pop to the upside. I'm okay with that. I'm expecting that to be a possibility, hitting about 45,500 give or take, maybe slightly higher, and then maybe continue within a consolidation here that may be a distribution. You know, distribution where some of the larger players in the market start selling off a little bit, allowing the price action to fall slowly and then come right back up and basically sell a bit more until they offload completely on the market. And unfortunately, guys, there's going to be people that are going to be exit liquidity. Not us. Not here on the channel. We do not buy tops. Bitcoin already ran up 80% plus from its bottom. It's time for Bitcoin to take a rest. Now, would I be looking for other opportunities? 100%. Altcoin market for sure. Some altcoins have yet to run, especially some of the new projects, or even some of the larger cap altcoins that are still at a good, healthy risk to reward ratio opportunity. Those ones I would be interested in. But Bitcoin right now, not so much. It looks very, very risky for me as a trader to get into something that looks this way. Okay, so ultimately looking for opportunities with better risk to reward ratio opportunities. All right, let's move on. Let's take a look at the project for today. Neoxa. What is Neox doing? In the last little while, it has been retracing. Very unfortunate that the retracement has been quite thick, coming down to lower levels. And this is what I always say here on the channel: be prepared for the worst case scenario, because you don't know if it's actually going to happen. And that is why I always say protect yourself by creating a risk management strategy that focuses on position size. Position size is a very important concept. If you're new to trading, position size is directly related, or should be directly correlated, to the amount of risk you want to take at a specific entry point, right? So I entered the market right around this level. Right here on the daily doesn't look very good, because of course it's still kind of hesitating here. But if you looked at lower time frames, which we'll do in a second, you'll see that my entry is quite strategic, and I did expect that this would be a level to see price action come back to. Unfortunately, we didn't get to any good profit taking opportunities because we were in price discovery, and we got a nice, bit of a hammer or a quick, morning star, and then all of a sudden coming right back down, and to the point that ultimately we start seeing a retracement. It's fairly deep retracement in my opinion. If we go from the swing low to the swing high using Fibonacci, you're looking at a golden pocket retracement as we speak. So that's a very confluent area. That's a very confluent zone. Here we're on the daily, so keep in mind it's a slightly big picture, okay? Now we're going to look at the momentum in a second, but you can see the golden pocket is right here, horizontal. We have the 786 right here, horizontal. These are great buy the dip opportunities, right, to start DCAing. Let's see if we can build some more confluence here on some of this price action. First of all, let me see if I can move this over successfully, and move maybe this to the side, move this over, type of thing, and do one of these, and we'll move this over as well so we can see a little bit better. Now, if we look at the momentum, you can see the momentum on the daily is still pushing down. We're in the chop zone right now. Maybe we see a bit of more price action right around here. Maybe we do see a bit of a pop to the upside with regards to momentum, but as long as momentum is downward sloping, we're continuing to oversold conditions. I'm expecting oversold conditions, and on the daily it means a deeper retracement. But if we start looking at the 4 hour, it might show us otherwise. It might show that this might be a good level of support because of lot of the altcoins have yet to retrace that deep and that hard with that much conviction. So we've been seeing a lot of altcoins get support in the chop zone on the RSI, which is at about the 50% mark on the RSI, which leads me to believe that maybe it may be possible that Neoxa does the same thing. And if that were to be the case, I would want a bit of skin in the game at the current price, right at the top of the volume gap. In fact, we're trying to push below, but you can see that the price is somewhat holding up on this support. So let's be very aware here that this is still a decent opportunity to get in from a risk to reward ratio opportunity, but we got to look at the lower time frames. The MACD right now, EMAs are facing down. We do have some pale pink histogram bars, but no confirmations with regards to momentum here that we're rolling back to the upside. The RSI is still pushing down. Daily looks bearish still, and I'm still looking for bearish targets. However, we start looking at the 4-hour, we see that we slightly got to a zone slightly below the chop zone. We didn't get completely oversold. That's a problematic thing for me as a trader. The risk that we're taking right now to get into a fresh long is that it does get oversold. That's the risk. So from here to where we are, let me zoom in here so you can see what I'm talking about. From here to here means that we could get oversold and see the price come down significantly. The reality is the majority of the dip, in fact, will happen from here to here. This is where you get the majority of the price action, and the reverse goes for the upside. Like the majority of the move to the upside starts at about 60% and gets into overbought conditions. The majority of the move to the downside starts off at about 40% more or less, and then we start coming down to the oversold condition. So ultimately, if we start breaking down from here, you're going to see the biggest impulse to the downside, and that's where you're going to see the majority of the dip. Okay, so you don't want to be caught in the majority of the dip after sideways consolidation in the chop zone. Both the 8-hour and even the 4-hour should be showing us, look, we're in the chop zone. 4-hour, 8-hour, daily, all in the chop zone, which means that, look, either we're going to be using this at solid support as we go sideways. Is there bearish divergence here? Bullish divergence? There is. Lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the RSI on the 4-hour. We're not getting any confirmations just yet, but you can see there's a bit of divergence stemming from here to here. Let me show you what I mean by zooming in a little bit. You can see that the momentum is moving upwards, okay, while the price action is coming down still. So this is class A bullish divergence, but the question is this at good horizontal levels of support? And it's somewhat good. You can see that the price action is trying to stay above the volume gap that we identified on larger time frames. So this is the thing here. Buying a little bit at the zone is not bad anywhere around here, and reserving a bit of capital for it to actually get oversold would be actually the best risk to reward ratio, because you can see the previous high here, the bottom of this volume gap with a huge amount of supply and demand, and we got the point of control very close by to act as support as well. So the reality is DCAing from here to down here is not a bad zone. Reserving a bit of capital down here to spam some buy orders is not a bad idea, but still getting some skin in the game for where we are right now is still good, because you want skin in the game if we do come back up and test previous highs and maybe definitely get into those extension levels here on Neoxa. So overall, so good, pretty good. So far, so good. Is there's no real absolute bearishness at this point. I think the majority of the correction is already done, and the daily may get a little bit more for sure, but the 4-hour retracement might be looking for a bit of a pop and then finally coming down more. Take it day by day, guys. Right now the daily is pushing down. The 4-hour might be looking for a bit of relief to the upside, but ultimately I would be ready to take profits on any retracement to the upside and then wait for a further dip and get some more confirmations on a potential pivot point right here with a change of character in this structure. You want to see the higher highs and the higher lows. Ultimately, we're still in a retracement mode. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor, and of course you got to do it. Slap the like button, guys. It does really help out with the algorithm and support the channel. Of course, the Discord is a great community, lots of good alpha, trade setup, fundamentals, and learning material. If you want to join me live tonight, that's a great time and place to make those requests live so we can go over those charts and find those opportunities. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.